Hello folks, today I'm going to be diving into the world of Middle-earth with Free League Publishing's The One Ring RPG. Okay, so Free League's The One Ring starter set. It's a beautiful box, very minimalist. If I flip it over, you might be able to see there what you get inside. The One Ring set contains everything you need to start your adventure in Middle-earth. Condensed rules, companion guide, adventure, character sheets, double-sided map, war gear cards, journey cards, feat dice, success dice, all of that, and so much more. I will start off by saying it says in the back 8 character sheets. There's actually 9 character sheets, and I'm only going to show you 7 of them, because inside the adventure guide, it does say 2 of them come in later on. And to try and keep it a surprise for players. So I'm not going to include those spoilers in this. I'm sure if you really want to know who those other 2 people are, you can go on the internet and the internet will tell you. But let's just take these pieces out. We have cards, we have dice, a little catalogue of some of Free League's other games. Ooh, I own that. And most of those. Don't own the aliens yet. We have our paper. So I'm going to upend this box. And first things I'm going to show you is you have a map inside the box, which they don't mention. So you've got the map of the Shire. And then you also have in the top box lid a GM screen, essentially. So with these 2 together, you can pop these upright on your table and you've got your own little GM screen that you can play. Or you can keep one of them in the middle as a dice tray with a map on it, so people aren't chucking stuff away. Where to start? Let's start with the, I'm going to say, less interesting parts. Is that fair? There are 6 of these. I believe they're called encounter cards. In the cut down rules in here, they say you can kind of use them, but really they're for the main game if you go on to play it. So it's nice that you get them in here. It's an option. Essentially, you can play when you're in combat as open, forward, or defensive. Or if you're playing a ranged combat character, then you're rearward. And on the other side, you have where your party, or where you are in your party as your party moves forward. So hunter, guide, scout, lookout, and you just set them in front of you with presumably what you're doing facing out. So everybody around the table can see that you are currently in the guide position. Saves any arguments later on over who is standing where when something happens, which often happens. You have a deck of cards that contain things like shields, bucklers, mail coats, bows, and other weapons. So as you find them, they can be given to the characters to equip them, or you can use them as quick reference if you're the GM as to who has what. And then we have the dice. Interesting little mechanic in this game. So Free League do a lot of games that use the Year Zero engine, dice pools. This is not one of those. So in Year Zero, you are rolling multiple dice and you're hoping to get 6s. Instead, in this, you have a target number. And let's say the target number is 14. And it's a strength check of some description. Maybe you're wrestling. So if you had a dice in strength and a dice in unarmed combat, you'd have 2 dice. You then take those and take a feat dice as well, which is this D12, and you roll them. And you're looking to get over 14. So you add them together. 4, 4, 4, 5. Okay, so 13, 1 away. Failure. Where this changes slightly is if I'd got a 6, instead of that 5, 14. So 14 is a success. But on all of the 6s, you have this little success symbol, little elven symbol. And if you have one of those, sorry, if you've none of those and you've beat the number, it's a success, but it's just a minor success. You just scrape by. If you've got 1, it was okay. If you've got 2 or more, it was outstanding. It's the stuff songs are written about and legends are made from. Then you also have this D12, the feat dice. It goes 1 to 10, but on the 11th spot is Gandalf's symbol, which is an automatic pass, an automatic success regardless of your number on the dice. And on the 12th spot, oh, well, actually he's not, he's on something else because we have an 11. I thought it was 11 and 12, but anyway. We have the Eye of Sauron, which is a 0 and generally a failure. So they change how the mechanics of the roll work. That can also mean bad things happen. The other little tweak they've made is the numbers 1 to 3 are not coloured in solid. Doesn't make much of a difference most of the time, but if your party start to get weary and injured and wounded, they don't count 1s, 2s and 3s, they count as 0. You only count the solid numbers. So, interesting. I like it. Now, what we've come for, before people get bored and wandered off, you have a set of character sheets pre-generated. So we've got Drogo Rory, Primula, named after the cheese, of course, Paladin Lobila, and Esmeralda. Each character sheet is an A4. On one side, it has this, I like it, it's got, it looks like somebody's filled it in pen, rather than just being a printed sheet. So you can see here how you would determine how many dice you're going to be rolling. So stealth 3, smashing, he's great. TN is the target number. So if you were trying to sneak, you'd be rolling your 3 dice plus your feat dice and beating your target number of 13. So that tells you how good the characters are, and there may be modifiers applied to these. I would have done very well there. How unusual. Apart from having their equipment and the like on them, each of them also has a full picture on the back along with the explanation of who they are and a bit about them. So you know when you're sitting down to play what this character is all about, who they are, distinctive features they may have, things like that. So like I say, there's a nice mix, male and female hobbits, various stratas of life. Don't get Drogo killed, otherwise you don't get a Lord of the Rings, just saying. No Frodo then. Then we have the rulebook itself. And the rulebook, relatively short. Get a bit of a prologue, and then you have 24 pages of rules, broken down into essentially the characters, what combat is, what their skills are, and how to actually perform resolutions. So that's quite cute. We have the adventures, which I will show you some of. It's the Conspiracy of Rulebook. Love the illustrations, the style they've chose. Stops people going, that doesn't look like such and such from the film. It's more impressionistic. Put your own face on it. Not going to show you any more past that because otherwise we'd end up with massive spoilers for the adventure and who those other characters are. But as you can see, you have these beautiful sketch drawings to go alongside the paintings. So that is the adventure. I'm not sure how many sessions it breaks down into. There are different scenes, and different scenes have acts within them. So there's a bit of gameplay in there, certainly. we have the Shire. So this book is a little larger. It is 52 pages long, and it tells you all about the Shire, who's in it, who's around it, what's happening with it. It would really be a resource book, except every now and again you get little drop-in boxes and roll things for a GM to use. So yes, you can use it just as a reference to find out who's where and what they're doing. But if your players decide to ignore your adventure and go and do something else, then you can find new story hooks in here. Or if they want to go and ask questions about whether or not Gandalf has been in town, then there are rumours and that sort of thing. So it's not just background, it also contains story hooks and content and game mechanics, which is a really nice way of doing it, and is a very nice read as well. So there we have that. So those are the 3 books. The last part you get is the map. So it's double-sided, matte finish. It has that sort of Tolkien-esque illustration style on it. So on one side you have Eredor, whatever it is. And on the other side you have the Shire again. So beautiful thing to have and to lay out on the table so your friends can see what's going on and where they are in the world. It's an excellent introduction for role players, especially if you've not played a big role-playing game before and you're not sure whether or not you're going to take the step into it and it's going to be something that you're going to stick with. If you do, the One Ring is a good way to do it. But if you decide to go a bit further, there are a couple of other things I'm going to very quickly show you. First off, we have the One Ring Loremaster's screen and Rivendell Compendium. So Rivendell Compendium is a nice little softbound book, the same as the ones in the starter set. Only 12 pages long, explains some encounters, people you're likely to meet, people of note in the area. So you've got that. I also like how it's a slightly different colour from everything else. Then we have the GM screen. So it's a gatefold, 3 sections. So we have a continuing scene of the Nazgul, I think. Well, orcs attacking elves anyway. May or may not be Nazgul in the vicinity. And then on the inside you have standard GM screen format, combats, success rolls, journey events. Sort of quick reference without having to look through a book. That could be handy even if you're just getting the starter set. However, if you decide to go all in, then the One Ring role-playing in the world of Lord of the Rings. So this is the full game book. Has an interesting, there's a term for that, I think it's, no, I don't know what it's called actually. But anyway, the gloss on matte effect, sort of cutting into that scene. Book is substantial. It is, I want to say 200 plus pages. Where are we? Is our index? 237 pages. And this takes those initial 24-page rules and expands them far beyond. So it's still the same mechanics, but it has the combat stances. It has various classes so that you can generate your own characters or play on with the hobbits from the starter set. The book throughout is lavishly illustrated with these sort of marginalia as well running down, each in a different sort of style. So as you progress through, you see them change in different sections. The quality of the book is gorgeous. There's our wraparound GM screen. They've got a troll. Again, it's a full-on RPG. If you've role-played before, you'll know what you're looking at in here, but otherwise it's essentially a toolkit. All the lore, backstory, world that you need to play your games out, along with some adventure hooks and characters as well. So you can create the entire world yourself, or you can use some of the pre-written scenarios and adventures in here, and just take your friends on a journey through Middle-earth. I imagine a lot of people will be very keen on this, and that number will only increase if this new TV series is any good. But there we have it. So that is the One Ring from Free League. So there we have it, the starter set, and if you feel that way inclined, you can go big with the full rulebook as well. The quality throughout is fantastic, and if you're interested in diving into the world that Tolkien created, then either of these is a great way to start. If you've got a fresh grip, the starter set obviously gives you a very accessible entry point to it, with those characters and those hidden characters as well. But let me know what you think of the One Ring. I'm going to shoot on, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.